guy, and luck is a luck.
Hey guys, it's Midnight Philosopher here, and I'm here with a Ruko Garant Plus, which is a high security lock out of Denmark. Ruko is part of the ASSA Abloy empire, as well as many other companies. ASSA itself has its own version of the lock, where it's called the DP4400 or the DP11, as well as TrioVing, which is another company that has their own version that they call the TrioVing DP. DP stands for double performance, which is similar with the twin system, like in my other videos. If you've seen, they have top pins and sidebar. The sidebar correlates to the side of the key here, as you can see with this laser grooved cut in the key, and that corresponds to 10 sliders in the side of the keyway, as you can see that first one there, at least, maybe some more of them. But the reason why there are so many is because there are actually 5 slots, but each side pin is split in half. So that makes 10 altogether. And on the top here we have barrel spools that match countermilling in the plug. But these barrel spools are the hardest barrel spools that I've ever picked. The tolerances on them are absolutely incredible. So they act very much like tapered pins as you're picking them. I wanted to ask you guys if any of you know more about the history of Ruko or ASSA or the DP system in general, and know about when it was first designed and applied to the overall ASSA Abloy company, and which company had it first. Anything about the history of it. If anybody knows, I would really appreciate it if you left me some fine education in the comments. But getting to picking the lock, so first thing I'm gonna do is lower down all of these sliders to the lowest position that they can be at, so that way they're not going to be overset when I'm trying to pick the barrels or the sliders later on. They seem to be in a good position, and I'm using a Moki pick here, which is new to me, but it feels absolutely amazing. I definitely recommend everybody go get his stuff. It's very good. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do now, I guess I should say second thing, is pick the barrel spools into the milling. So I gotta click on 3 and 2 and then 4 and then 3 again. So now 4 again, 3 again, 2 again. This is what I mean about them acting like tapered pins. This is because of how good the tolerances are, as well as the fact that the sidebar isn't set currently. It withdraws some of the pressure off of the barrels. But now they're all starting to feel like they're up pretty good in the milling, so I think it's a good time now to address the sidebar. So to do that, I have this huck pick that I've modified down to a very, very thin flag that's thin enough to access each one of those sliders individually. I'm going to start in the first slot here on the very first slider and try to lift it. It's binding nice and tight. Okay, nice click out of it, but it's still tight. Okay, there, now it's loose. Second one feels okay. I think it went up a little bit with that first one. That's one of the things about them sharing the same spot. So 3 feels okay. 4. Okay, nice click out of 4. 5. Okay, I lost my spot. I'm gonna make sure I'm on the right slot. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm on 6. Got a nice click and a little rotation of the plug. Okay, 7. 8. These are nice and low ones. 9. Same with 9. Now 10. A little click from 10. Oh, and now I got a click from 10 again and a slight movement of the plug. So I think the sidebar is set. I'm going to go to the top pins here and we'll see how they feel. A nice click out of 5, 4, and 3. So getting definitely more binding than before. And the thing with this stage, I find I just have to play around with getting these barrels up into deeper stages of the milling, since the milling is double lipped. And it feels very weird at first. Like I'm not sure where I'm at and which pin to go for, or sometimes it feels like everything is set, but there's something obviously not. So the goal right now is just to try to get to a point where at least I'm feeling that, and then I can try to make a plan from there. So I got a nice little click from 1. Oh, nice bigger click from 1. Okay. 4 is definitely not set, so give it a little nudge here. If I can get it up a bit more. Okay, it went up a bit. Click from 5. Oh, there, now 5 is set. 3, had to pop it up a little bit more. Oh, 1 is not set. Have to push it just a bit more. There we go. Look how hard I have to push it. It's crazy. These barrels are so tight. Here's 4 again. 4 dropped a bit, but see how tapery these barrels act. 3 is that? No, 3 feels okay. We'll see. Maybe I'll come back to 3 in a minute. 1. Yeah, this is the point that I was talking about where I really am not too sure what's holding me up. So I'll just go through them a couple times and see if anything feels more obvious here in a minute. But I have to put decent amount of pressure on each one as I go by. I think it's 3. There, yeah, 3. But 4 dropped. So before I go for 4 again, I'm just gonna check the other ones. See if anything else feels like it's dropped. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna go for 4. Oh, and we're picked. All right, so Ruko Garant Plus picked. Now let's take it apart and look at those split side pins. They're pretty fancy. So first thing I'm gonna do is lock it back up and now take off the tailpiece. All right, the pinning tray, key, just turn it about 45 degrees so that way I don't get anything stuck in a weird spot. I could probably go 90 degrees with this lock, but it's nice and smooth on the 45-degree axis, so that's what I like. Okay, here's sidebar with one of the springs, and get that other spring out here. Now the top pins, start with 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Make them a bit more neat. There we go. Now for these split side pins, moment of glory. Hey, let's look at that a little bit more closely. can see those individual side pins moving, which are pretty cool. All right, to get them out, I'm gonna just drop them like this, one at a time, starting from the back, and then flip them over. Then from here, I can do this. So that way, when I show it to you guys close up, all of the gates will be on one side. So same thing on the fourth. Flip it over. Grab it by the edge here. Edge. Oh, that one I messed up. There. 3. Now the thing about locks with so many little things is that it takes almost as long to gut it as it does to pick it. But bear with me because we are almost done. 2. Put this one around. And 1. All right, now for the driver pins. One, and the spring. 2, and the spring. 3, spring. 4, spring. Okay, now flip it around. We'll do 6. This little tiny one on 6. And the spring. And 5. Also a little tiny one, but a little bit bigger than the 6th one. If that spring wants to come out, let that follower go through. Oh, and the spring. There we go. All right, now for a nice close-up, and I can show you guys what those split pins look like a little bit closer. Just make it a little bit more neat first. It's my OCD kicking in. Okay. So we have our 6 barrel spools matched with the countermilling in the plug, which if I rotate it around to this side, you can see it's on both sides. It's double lipped for these barrel spools. And we have those 10 split side pins, which interact with this sidebar right here. And there's the other side of the sidebar. And if I come nice and close to these side pins, if I can get it to focus, you can actually see all of those false gates along the edges. I guess they're more like serrations, as well as the true gates. So for example, on these last 2 here, we have a true gate right at the very top, and then we have a true gate in the middle. And those both have to be aligned with this bar in the center of this sidebar here. And this is a little bit of a closer up image of the sidebar from both sides. And the plug, there's the sidebar slot, And then there's the side pin slot. And the plug itself, or the housing itself, is just a normal housing with a sidebar slot in it. So there's the 6 slots. We have some drill protection in the front, as well as the sidebar groove in the edge there. All right, well, that is a Ruko Garant Plus, picked and gutted. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, all the best, and see you guys soon.